and welcome back to Stranded Deep, welcome back to Pacific Paradise, and welcome back to this island we are making. Last time we were on the other side of the island, we were here and we were making ourselves a little offshore shipwreck, which looks very, very nice. I gotta say, I am very happy with what we've done, but if you're joining us for the first time, well, let me introduce you to the map editor on the PC version of the game. Well, you see, W goes forward, S goes back, A goes left, D goes right, Q goes down, E goes up, push and right, click the mouse button, and that will pan the camera around. But there are some problems. Well, we'll address the elephant in the room. This thing will keep disappearing because the LOD models, some of them just don't exist. It'll be fine in the game, but in the map editor, if you go too far away, it vanishes, and then if you go far enough away, it comes back again. Yep, that is just a few of the bugs that are in the map editor. Also, if we go to terrain and if we select the smooth height and we crank the amount up because we're making a nice smooth beach, and we left click and we just pan around and everything's looking kind of sandy, kind of smooth, and then we say, well, you know what, we want to lower some ground and left click now. That amount slider is inherited between all of your brushes. If that amount slider is all the way up and you left click with lower or raise, you're going to have a bad day. So save often because there is no undo in the game. With those out of the way, we're just going to hit objects so we don't have anything selected. So yes, we pop this little boat in, and then we pop some more rocks in because, well, why would we not? But there is a fourth problem that you might be able to see already. That is that there is no constant velocity for the camera, so the closer we get to objects, the slower things become, and as we pass them, the camera will speed up again. That is not lag, that is not a frame rate issue. That is just the camera being a pain in the butt, and we will have to just deal with it because when you're away from, yeah, there you go. When you're away from any objects, the camera will speed up again. It's very, very strange, very annoying and kind of weird, but we've worked quite a bit on this side of the island, and we've worked in the middle of the island where there is, in fact, DC3 because we put it up in the trees and there is a way to get up there from the other side. So we put a tree on top and you can walk up and down and do all the things you need to do. And we put a pond so you can jump off the back of the airplane. We have a giant shipwreck over here. We've spent a lot of time on this island, but there are some more things we need to do. There are some things that I feel are missing. We decided to go big or go home, so we put a river through it, which is lovely. We put some rocks down, but here, this area here just kind of feels like nothing's going on. And I have a feeling, so we've got rocks, we've got sand, we have a forest, which we do need to revisit, but we have all of this here, which is, it's fine, it's just fine. So what I think I'm going to do is hit the train and hit set height, read terrain paint height, click. Where the mouse pointer is, the center of the blue circle. Depending on how big your brush is, depends on how big that blue circle is going to be. And we have read the terrain paint heights, and I'm going to change the mouse slider just off the stop, and then I'm going to bring some of this up because I think what we need is more grass. We need more cowbell, but we also need more grass. And the reason for that is that this whole area doesn't really have that much in the way of greenery. We have a lot of sand, and we have trees, we have tons of rocks. Rocks and trees and rocks. That's how we're doing it. But we don't have that much in the way of sand. Now, the texture is going to be weird. We're going to this pattern repeat. Don't worry too much about that because there'll be a lot of sprites in this area. That'll be fine. I'm just going to bring this out a little bit. And then I'm going to hit raise and lower. I'm just going to hit raise. Let's just brush in the middle with that mouse slider, just kind of almost all the way down. Let's bring some of this up. In fact, I'm going to continue out into the ocean a little bit. Just to bring this out so we don't just we don't run the grass directly into the sea. That would be kind of terrible. We want some variation. We'll bring stuff up and down. There we go. Now we know. There we go. That's good. We are going to smooth. Now there is a problem with smoothing. It's the fifth problem. Yeah, we smoothed all of this, but as you can see, it's kind of jaggedy because the smoothing tool doesn't really work. Well, it does until you save the map and then you leave and you come back again and everything's jagged. Why does that happen? The answer is it came in 1.0 in the release candidate, on the release version of the game, and it was never fixed. It was pointed out, but it was never fixed because the team are currently working on the console version of the game. The PC versions had a few patches since main release, but nothing like we need. There are some bugs, some quality of life fixes that need to go on. They're just not happening. Anyway, since we can't fix those, we're going to fix our island. Excellent. Well, we have now brought all of that out. And that's kind of important because we have these two horns here on the end of the island, which we're not really doing anything with. Have kind of been studiously ignoring, sort of. But now we're going to be dealing with them. So we've brought this out. It's fine. Check it from the side. That's definitely going to be a ridge later on. The camera is now going to be struggling because there are so many objects in the world. But I think we're going to need to do what we normally do. Make a small wooded area. Are you going to whip out some rocks? You know damn well I am. That's exactly what's going to happen. I want a small rock though. I don't want a huge rock. Cliff 6, too big. Actually, Cliff 4 is probably... Like, Cliff 6 genuinely too big. Cliff 4 maybe. Cliff 5 maybe. I just need something here. Something dark side. Something complete. So we're just going to go through the cliffs, see if we can find anything here that's going to... Because one of the things we need to do is just ruin everyone's line of sight. That's fine. Kind of cool. It's kind of neat. And then this one's flat on the side. So we're going to hit R to rotate. Give it a little rotate. E to transform. Just move it into position. That feels good. Find the flat side. C to clone. Bring it out slightly. R to rotate. T to transform. Now at some point we're going to put down enough items and things are going to start snapping away from our objects. And there's no undo. We ran into that problem last time. How big is this compared to anything else in the world? So sometimes you just have to get creative about disassembling things. Right, this is fine. This is fine, but now we have a problem over here because it's just kind of like down onto the beach. And this outward curving bit of sand we may never use because the path is now through here. If we're trying to get through to the other side of the island, so either around there or through there. But we need to give people a reason to go here now, because otherwise people won't. So we'll work something out there. Good. Terrain objects, we got nothing selected. We need structures. Door. How big is... Oh, that's fair size. Yeah, that's a fair old size. Excellent. Door is about the height of a player. Right. So whack some trees in. The only reliable ones that we don't have many trees. We don't have many plants in the toolbox. We just have to be very creative with what we have. So if we go to Ficus Tree 2, yeah, you knew it was going to happen. Oh, you and that Ficus Tree better get a room. And they call it a mine. Yeah, I know. But you work with what you got, and then you have to be creative. And there we go. It's snapped onto the cliffs again. So hopefully that is exactly the place we want it to be. Otherwise, we have a bit of a problem. But no, that's kind of okay. We can kind of position the camera up. And if we look down, so if we can T to transform, there we go. Yeah, it just keeps snapping onto something else. I'm going to leave it poking out the rock as if it's grown in amongst the rock. That kind of looks neat. Normally we go and try and hide stuff like that, but we're not going to do that today. We're not going to do that today. We don't want to. I just don't think I need to. Rocks, terrain objects, so we got nothing selected, because sometimes when you pull stuff out of the toolbox, Shoreline Rock 2, not Shoreline Rock 1. Shoreline Rock 1 will make you sad. It will. We're going to do exactly what we've done before. To rotate. Find a nice point. That's nice. Subtle. But most of it's buried in the cliffs. I know, right? Kind of weird how that happens. I can see the little rock poking out the roots. I'm not entirely sure I want that. So we'll move that over a little bit. Okay. There we go. Easy peasy. Done. Objects. So the reason you do that, sometimes you pull something out of the toolbox, and then whatever is on the ground that's already selected, as you pull something out, whatever is also on the ground will just go off in that direction or start spinning around like its butt's made of jello and you're like, oh, I didn't think that was a good thing. So some of those leaves might be clipped into the rock, but as far as we can see, it's all pretty much okay. Going to be a little bit. Just want to get the old wiggle on, you know. Want to get some movement going. That'll do. Let's pop these into the. There we go. A little bit of a spin. T to transform. Just push it in. Okay. Elbow of a non. Just there we go. Just whip it out the box. Pop it in. Done. Two plants that are the same, broken up by a plant that's not the same, the nana plant, the difference in leaves. It's going to distract the fact that we've just whipped a few bits out of the toolbox. We can just leave that there, to be honest. Yeah, let's do it. It's good. I'm done. Fine. Player could probably jump up on that if they wanted to, which is okay. I'm happy with that. But this isn't really creating the forest vibe. So we've got ficus tree 1, which is also a ficus tree that can't be chopped down. I'm thinking we should probably put a big tree here. So we're going to need some of these guys over here. Pop you down. R to rotate. That's better. Oh, dude here. Give it a little rotate so that these don't look like they're in the same direction. Yeah, that's fine. It's fine. So if we grab a regular ficus tree, or the little, there's one that's a copse of trees. That's the one. It's fine, but the player can come along and just chop it all down. So we're trying to decorate in such a way that the player is not going to be able to do that. And then we'll put in all the trees and things that the player can mess up afterwards. I know we've got some palm trees that we've already put in, but we've also mixed it up with trees that can't be chopped down, because if you're creating a look and your player just runs through with an axe and chops everything down because they're just a maniac, well, I mean, they're not wrong, but, well, they're not wrong. But players do that. Players are monsters. You spend ages putting in vending machines and things into your world, and then the player comes along and just beats it with a crowbar. And you're like, oh, I spent ages putting those objects in place, and then the player just runs through and smashes everything with a crowbar because they're trying to get treasure out of it. It's weird. Especially the quiet ones. So we're just trying to find a good position for this, I think. No, that leaf is clipped in, but as long as when we roll with it, it's not actually going to be a problem. Okay, fine. Terrain objects, real quick. I'm going to go throw some rocks in as well. So big rock. Big rock. Big rock's going to get in the way of player movement. Don't really want that. But if we do this, R to rotate, pop that in, key to transform, R to rotate so the branches aren't impeding anyone jumping over that thing. Oh yeah. So now you've just got these little pathways, one through there, one through there. Oh, look at that. Weird, huh? Weird how that sort of thing happens. Strange even. It's not, because that's how we placed it. But, you know, making it all look au naturel. Good. So we'll just pop this down into the world. Back up, terrain objects. We really want to cover as much as we can here with the time that we have. And you might say, why don't you just do longer recordings? Because of all the stuff that's happening on the channel currently, compared to previous times when we've done videos like this, I just don't have the time. So I put stuff on one side. I'm probably not going to put it on the other side. I might put some palm trees or something in there. We're going to do the same thing over here. Terrain objects, so we have nothing selected. Big rock. That's not a big rock. Because we haven't selected it. There we go. And then T transform, just slam it into the ground. There's a little nick out of the rock there. Alright, so that would mean you would run that way. If you're on the beach over here, you would run through there. Yeah, so it's just kind of creating lots of little tiny pathways in an area that was big and open previously. And remember, all of this will have grass texture on it. There's a little grass sprites. And we'll do the same thing. We will go to trees. Saruman. Did the other one have Saruman on it? Yeah. Oh, Acacia then. Acacia? I don't even know her. What? Nothing. Okay, fine. So, cocoa bush. We should probably put some cocoa bushes down as well. Because these things are giant. And they are kind of cool. Did you just remember they're there? No. You can't prove it. But they are pretty decent. Like, when they first came into the game, everyone was like, the cocoa bush is giant. Nobody needs that much bush in their life. It's too much bush. And then eventually everyone was like, actually, I kind of like it. It's aesthetically pleasing. So, neat. I'm going to do that here. So, it's kind of cool that it's actually got the old... Oh yeah, F. But F on the keyboard is the other button that you may never use, but sometimes tap accidentally, and that's to focus. Yeah, when they introduced the cocoa bush, everyone's like, it's too big. It's massive. And it's got the old icon, the old bush. But the old bush, and everyone forgets, had a weird hitbox. Like, you would run up to it, and then you would just, like, vibrate if you touched it. It was so strange. We can put one over the back of this, actually. Ooh. Yeah, we can. Ah, yeah. Something like painting with a big brush. And that's what this feels like. Painting with a big brush. Yes. So you just get a lot of area filled in quite quickly. So we're putting it in the ground. I'm putting it a little lower than I think I need it. And the reason for that is because I think in-game these things actually end up quite big. Because I think, from what I remember, the LOD models are kind of weird. And that's good, that's good, that's good, that's good. Excellent, excellent, excellent. We don't need to go too mad here, but we're going to go mad. Okay, so we have tree and a bit of Narn there. Oh, why don't you eliminate the entire Narn homeworld while you're at it? One step at a time, Mr. Malari. Yeah, we need more trees. Because there's not a wood without trees. Can't see the wood for the trees. Right, rocks, structures. Nope. Why has my brain just stopped working? Your brain has stopped working. Would you like a reboot? No, just degauss it and get on with it. No, Ficus Tree 2. There we go. We want to get there eventually. Degauss your brain? Can you do that? Not safely, I don't think. Well, we're just going to make sure these roots are in the ground. Pop that down. There we go. And just a little rotate, I think. And a little movement. That might... Is that too symmetrical with the one behind it? Maybe just a little bit. There we go. There we go. I don't want the rotation to be symmetrical, because if this one and this one look symmetrical, your eye will pick it up. And the human eye is very good at seeing patterns. Repeated patterns and textures and things. There's a little walkway up there. Interesting. We can kind of cut that off a little bit. Boop. Right. So there's this here. I don't particularly want to cut it off. There we go. So lots of trees. There we go. So an area that was just sand when we began is now a little wood. It's a little woody glade. Well, no, it's not a glade, but it is wood. There you go. And by we're using the same tree over and over, but by mixing up the rotation and the angles that it's at, kind of makes it so it's looking decent. And we need one here as well. I think I'm so confident with that positioning, I'm not even going to touch it now. Right, terrain objects. We're going to throw some rocks and stuff in and plants. Why do you do that? Why do you put rocks and stuff in? Because it adds some texture. Texture to the world. Texture to the thing you just added. Texture to the reason of being. It just looks better with a rock there. Things look better. Yeah. Yep. That's fine. They need to be high enough off the ground so that any grass sprites don't clip through them. Let's just think. So, trees, terrain objects, ceremon. We keep adding ceremon. We don't add allocation nearly as much as we should. We're going to do that. You go down. Little rotate, I think. Yeah, of course it's going to be a little rotate. That's fine. I think one of these clipped in the... No, we're okay. We're good. We good. Do we need too much here? Not really. Something there, because that looks a little bit empty. You thinking none? Yeah, maybe. Or maybe just an aloe vera. Yeah. Gotta make sure you can still pick that, because sometimes if it's too close to the tree, you can't pick it. So it's a fun little fact. Is it a fun fact? Not really. Not really. No. Something feels like it needs to be here, but I'm not entirely sure what. We're gonna focus on one. Maybe. Just whack it in there. Is that too much tree? It does add a better shade. Maybe not. Let's pop it down, and then immediately, as soon as we let go... Oh, no, it didn't. I have to rotate. I'm just waiting for it to snap onto something else. I'm tilting it deliberately quite far away from the rock, because if you have a load of greenery like this... Oh, there it goes. It's not going to try and... They'll try and move away from each other, but also you just want something that leans out slightly so that as players walking along, you've got these branches overhead. So I deliberately like the branches hanging over the beach. It just looks nice. Okay, good. So we have a little wood. A little wood. It's nice. There's a bit of empty space here. It's not bad. Kura. Yeah. Kura in the wood. The tree's likely not to have any fruit on it by the time the player gets there because there's a bug in the game. One of the many bugs. Is there? I never knew. Yeah, no, there is a totes a bug in the game. I kind of want that not there. It needs to have a nice place for it to go. That feels better. Yeah, there we go. Goodbye. I'll forget I put you in there. It'll be fun. It was fun. This just kind of feels empty. Cocoa bush? Oh, do we dare throw another cocoa bush in? I mean, we're going to. This is what's happening. Yeah, so to answer a question that maybe a few people asked, do you have a plan for this island? Yes. Do you have a plan for how you're going to play the island? Yes. Do you have a plan for what the island should look like? Yes. But, yes. Is it all sketched out and fully formed? Well, that's the thing. You can have an idea and then you sort of do things. And it's like, well, this isn't working. So, good. I think that's better there. Yeah, that feels better. Got these little pathways, almost like a little garden, like a subtropical garden you get at a... Yeah, that's much nicer. And it feels natural, and we got the rocks here, and they break line of sight, which is good, because you want line of sight broken. And you've got all the plants just to kind of hide the fact that there's a load of chunky rocks and trees that had a canopy overhead. So yes, terrain objects, we don't have anything selected. So yes, there was always a plan to have an aeroplane up in the trees. 100% this was what was going to be on the island. I didn't do a video for the last time I put a plane up in the trees. The second thing was there was always going to be a pool so that we could jump off to continue a long-standing tradition. And there was always going to be this here. This bit that we haven't really touched. There was always going to be that. Why? Well, there just always was. Things like this, just little bits off the side, adds a little bit of interest that you can climb up and around on. And then we have little offshore islands. So we have our shipwreck, which we have added to. Yeah, looks good. I do like the big old chunky shipwreck. And then we have a little curio, a little offshore island that we can do stuff with. Yeah, these little curios are quite interesting. You can put a house in there or farms or just completely ignore it if you want. There are still some areas that we need to look at, but like the nice thing is by doing it in chunks, what you do is you go away and you say to yourself, this island is missing something. It's missing something big, which is why we added the river. I wasn't going to do that initially, and I might still expand on it. This area here was definitely because it felt like there was not enough just greenery. There's like a lot of sand and a lot of these sandy pathways, which is fine for a desert island, but it just feels like we are missing something. And so in order to fix that, we've just added ourselves a little green area that we can, with lots of little pathways that we can go through, which is nice. It just adds something that wasn't there before. A little area to explore or run through, or just if you light a fire in there, a little campfire, or even if you light a fire in the woods, it lights everything up. It's an environment that's nice to be in, and I think that's what we need. So by sleeping on it, by going away, and by thinking there's something missing on this island, you can just add new bits and pieces. Let your subconscious work on the map, and maybe something that wasn't working suddenly works. But hopefully this will look quite natural and quite lovely when we're done with it. Good. So we've done that, we've done this. Oh yeah, we were going to do something over here as well, something offshore, just to make sure that the player has, like, because this is a convex little pathway, typically it kind of feels empty, kind of feels a little bit like there's nothing here. So you can just add something, like a little point of interest. So we can hit terrain, read terrain to paint the height, dry sand. The amount slider is not all the way up, so we'll just add a little amount of sand, a little amount of sand. Okay, ooh, dry. Ooh, dry. We can actually turn off the water. We're very, very close to the edge of the world. Ooh, that's very close. But that's fine. I want you to raise up. And then smooth it back. Crank the amount slider all the way up. Smooth it back. Just add a little point of interest. This smoothing tool, it works, and then all your effort is undone afterwards. That is kind of annoying. I'm going to read the height from down here. The amount slider was all the way up. Ooh, that could have been a problem if we'd have had any other tools selected. So I want to add a little bit more of a apron around there. Crank it all the way up. Smooth the height. And just take that edge off. There we go. So we have this little islandlet. And we'll turn the ocean back on. It really doesn't do much except for get in the way. Get in the way. There's little bubbles here. I haven't seen those in a while. So we will lower. Amount slider is just off the stop. Change the size of the brush all the way down. And just push that down. Those bubbles should go away eventually. They'll snap. And they did. Excellent. Same thing here. Just take the edge off the island. Okay, good. And then objects. We'll just toss a few rocks and some plants on it, I think. Because why would we not? So we'll just pop that into the island. And we can have that kind of off to one side. Give it a little rotate. Until we find a position that it looks right in. It might not, but hey, that's what we're doing. There we go. Train objects, and just throw some trees and stuff on it. So what we can do, and I think we'll end up with a focus 2. Yeah. There we go. Spin it around. I think that was the branch that I was looking for. It was T to transform, bring it down, push it into the rock that we've just put in. Just real quick. Train objects. Good. Grab a little nana plant. Toss that in as well. To rotate. Give it a little rotate. I'm not adding a cocoa bush there. That'll be ridiculous. Grab another rock. Small rock this time. T-transform. And then put here a yucca. Wait, what? Why would you do that? That's ridiculous. Why would you do that? I don't know. I'm gonna complain about it. I'm gonna do things. Well, here's the thing. We've got all of this over here, and that's fine. We've got these little pathways, but typically everyone's going to be running through this area because they just want to get from place to place. Now we've added that on a little tiny offshore island. This bit here feels less cold because this jutting out into the sea kind of felt a little bit cold, a little bit naked. So by adding that, it adds something out of the corner of your eye. It's so simple. Just a little blob of sand with some stuff on it out of the corner of your eye. And by the way, there's a renewable resource here. And it's easy to get. There's not much on the island. There's a tree, there's a nana, and then there's that. So people will have to come here if they want that resource. Oh, really? Yeah, they will. So it gives people a reason to be out there, as well as running through the woods or flopping from the tail into here. So you're just giving people reasons to do stuff. But yeah, that's just a nice little touch. Good, excellent. Well, I think we've done quite a bit. So I'm going to leave it there for the time being. If you like this, definitely leave a little like. Leave a subscribe if you haven't subscribed. If you want notifications, dingle the bingle. If you don't want notifications, don't click the bell. Because you don't need to. You can be subscribed and you will never hear a notification. But if you do want a news feed, there is a there is a Mastodon. Channel now has a Mastodon account as well as the Twitter and Facebook and everything else. All the links are down below so you can find those. And I tell you what, I'll catch you next time.